Trading without a diary is like shaving without a mirror. That's a quote from Alexander Elder, and I think most, if not all, traders will agree with this. There are many different ways to journal, and believe me, I have tried all of them, but the system I use now is what I believe to be the best. Welcome back, everybody. Today's video is a little bit different, as I'm not going to be showing you anything on the charts, but instead I'm going to be showing you how I journal my trades to make sure I have an edge that works and journal and gather data in the most effective way possible. So as you can see, I've just hopped over to my Notion chart, which is where I journal everything, and I have everything I list my trades in numbers, the day I entered, the date, time of entry, the pair, whether it's a buy or sell, the risk reward percentage gain. As you can see, there's loads and loads of different stuff. I'm currently testing out if moving stop loss to break even makes any difference on my trades, so I've got all that, different stop loss placement, 5-minute market structure shifts for entry, everything, anything and everything. So I'm not going to explain how I made this, or I'm going to quickly go over it, but this video isn't explaining how to make this. Obviously you can make a Notion chart. You just open a page and put it in. You can use templates which you can search for and just install them and add them on. There's many great videos of people who know a lot more about Notion than me. I just used a template and edited it and everything, and I switched these to how I want. You can press, I actually don't even remember, I think there's a plus back here, yeah, which you can do to add everything you want, so I can get my win rate, etc, etc. So just quickly gone over that, and I believe this is a great way to journal. So I log my trades in 20. If you've read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, if you haven't, firstly go read that. It's the best trading book there is. It's very useful, and he recommends journaling your trades and putting them in groups of 20 to 25. I do 20, and the idea is in those 20 trades, so from 1 to 20 or 40 to 60 as I have here, you don't change anything until you've got to those 20, and then you review all your data and then you make changes off that. Obviously I've been profitable in this 20. This has lasted a month and a half, however long it is, so I don't actually need to change anything. However, I've logged all the data, so we can jump in and I'll explain to you any trades any differences I'm potentially looking at and changes I might make. So I've now jumped over onto a separate page on my Notion. This one, as you can see in the top left, is called data gathering. So this is where I have any backtesting data. I don't backtest anymore, but old backtesting data. Maybe I can make a video on why I actually don't think backtesting, once you've learned how to read price action, is any use. Forward testing data, which is what I do now, / live testing, and obviously my live. So this third 20, I've done obviously 3 whilst I've been journaling on Notion, and it's been game changing for me 100%. My results have just been improving and improving. So yeah, I'll jump into everything here. So as you can see, I have the wins, the losses, the win rate, the risk reward ratio, the percentage increase. So obviously 14.91%, and then this is just days with rule break. And then obviously, as you saw in the chart before, I have everything in there, but this just kind of contextualizes it, and anything I'm looking at in particular I have here. So as you can see, the 2 main things my focus on for these 20 trades of potential changes is 5-minute market structure shifts and days. So obviously when you're starting out, you're going to have a lot of things to kind of narrow down, as you don't need to keep chopping and changing your system. If you find a YouTube video of a tutorial of something, ICT, or it doesn't even need to be support resistance, supply and demand, I don't even know, whatever, Elliott wave, animal patterns, who knows, right? It most likely all works. You just have to keep refining it until it works for you. So that's what this does. So every 20 trades, you've got a decent sample size of data which you can use to see if everything's working. For example, this is working, I don't need to change anything. However, there could be potential changes which could have a drastic or even a slight difference, which can also improve your psychology. Obviously you can try and min-max or maximize the risk reward or something like that, but you have to remember there'll be psychological issues with, let's say if you're going to cut your trades in half or only trade 1 day a week, is that going to work for you? Or maybe if you take 3 trades a day, that might end up working better. However, are you going to be able to take 3 trades a day? Because if you lose 3 in a day because your bias was completely wrong, is that going to affect you for the week? So be sensible with your changes, not make huge changes each 20 unless obviously something's gone horribly wrong. So I'll jump into the first page here. So obviously I've explained this. So this is the effect of having a 5-minute shift. So this is with what I normally do. I normally wait for a 1-minute market structure shift / break of structure, unless it's before London open. So if it's from 2 to 2:59 a.m. New York time, then I wait for a second. So this is, let's start with that. Obviously it's the exact same as before, but this is with a 5-minute shift. So as you can see, if I do wait for a 5-minute market structure shift, I have a 63% win rate, which is higher, and I have an extra R, right? I'll make an extra probably few percent, or I haven't got the percent logged here because that's irrelevant for this, but I'd make almost 10 risk reward over those 20 trades. Whereas if I waited for a second shift before 3 a.m, so the exact same as a 1 minute, but on the 5, then as you can see, I'm not going to even look at that. I might still log it just because if I have 40 trades data, it's obviously going to be a lot more accurate. However, I don't want to take 20 trades over a month and a half, however long that 20 lasted, and only make 3R. So the chances are I'll either continue doing what I'm doing or look at this, and I'm more leaning towards this. I've still got the weekend to decide, but I'm happy with my trading, so this isn't something I'm looking to change. However, it's very useful data, and maybe if you would rather this slightly high win rate, then you could make that change. I like the 1 minute. I like how my entries are on there. I use the 5-minute a lot anyway for stop losses, stuff like that, so it doesn't make a massive difference to how I'd be looking at the markets either way. So here, this is very interesting. So this is each day's the wins of each day, how many wins I took, how many losses I take, obviously the win rate, the risk reward, and the percentage change on those days. So as you can see here, I've already made notes of what I was thinking I was going to do, so we'll go over them, but I'll just quickly go over this data right here. So as you can see on Monday, 20% win rate, one out of the 5 trades I took, minus 2R, minus 2%. It's very clearly not a good day. It's not been a good day for me for a while. I've very much noticed that. That's why I'll definitely say I'm going to remove Mondays. However, Friday I haven't. Obviously I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but I've noticed that there's also not a lot of news. It's a lot of people don't trade Monday, so maybe that's kind of playing into my mind a bit. However, I'm cutting Mondays out. As you can see, Tuesday is a great day, and Wednesday. I made everything in both of those days. If I only traded Tuesday and Thursday, clearly I would have made more, but that's not necessarily an issue. I like trading Wednesdays. I think just trading Tuesday and Thursday wouldn't be great for me, as I don't think I'd be on the charts enough. I like the middle of the week market profile lines up with this. I'm assuming Wednesday's probably just a anomaly. I haven't looked at this for previous data. This is something I've just added in, so I'll get a lot more data over the next coming months to see if maybe Wednesday does need to be cut out as well, but right now that's not an issue. Thursday, again, 100% win rate. I didn't lose a trade on Thursday, 6%, that's great. And then obviously Friday I didn't win and took 2 losses. However, this is a small sample size, it's literally 2 trades. I'm also, if I've had a good week, in my mind, I'm probably less likely to take a trade on Friday, so that's probably why I've took less here than all the others, where I've took 5 here, 6 here, 4 here, obviously 3 here, that's not a lot either, but then only 2. I definitely need more data on Friday. However, I'm cutting Mondays up 100%, so you won't be seeing any, even with my reviews, all my losses, I've kind of showed I lost first because it's been on Monday, so you won't be seeing any reviews on Monday of me taking any trades. So yeah, this was quite a short one. However, I just wanted to express the importance of logging your trades in this manner. I think it's very, very good, and the Notion template. If people want, I can upload the Notion template, I believe, and you guys can use that. That would be perfectly fine. I use the exact same one for my forward testing as well, which I'll jump over and show you now. So as you can see, now my forward testing is literally the exact same thing. I just have to scroll down here. I take a lot of more trades on here. Again, the setup, and what type of setup it was, buy or sell, the pair, everything to do with it. I had stuff on taking 1 trade a day, etc, etc. There's loads and loads and loads of stuff on here. This is how I believe to be the best way. It does take a bit of time to journal each trade. However, that doesn't matter because all the information's right here. So it's literally perfect. I don't have to then take all the trades and go through and think, oh, did this one win, calculating everything. It does it all down here, as you can see. It's perfect. Another thing I do, if I just quickly come over into here, is I use an app called Stonk Journal right here, which is just where I log all the trades I take, and I log them as if it was 100k, just so 1%'s 1,000, 2,000's 2%, and I log them again just with this, just so I have somewhere else where I can kind of get all of this information quickly and easily. I find that helps quite a lot. So yeah, Stonk Journal's free. That's why I started using it. I thought, why not? I only need something just to add on, so it does everything I need it to do. And then obviously this did take a bit of time to make. However, could not recommend this enough. So yeah, it's just quickly want to do a quick overview of how I look at everything, and hopefully there's stuff you can take and apply to your own journaling. Do not journal. Even if you don't do this, you have to be journaling your trades 110% every single time. If there's one thing you do apart from taking the trade, it's journal. And if you're not going to journal, don't take the trade. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. That was quite short. Yeah, I'll catch you next time.